what we doing today?
What we doing today? Hot topics. So today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about Regina King today. Everybody has heard about her son, who unfortunately committed suicide at the age of 26, not long after his birthday. I believe his mom, Regina King, who we all know and love and have watched. Yes. I think I've been watching her on TV since I was a young girl.
Right.
Yeah. So it's strange to say that, like when we look at people on the screen, but it's almost like you're connected to her. Like when I heard the news that her son had committed suicide, I stopped in my tracks.
Home. Yeah.
For him to be 26
and her only
son.
Yes.
He had made a name for himself in the music industry. You know, everything that I ever saw, even when you read now, he was very close to his mom. So, you know, just wondering what was he battling to get to a place of taking his life. You know, there's so much of that. So when I was looking at what happened with Regina King and then just thinking back, right? We had Cardi B, who just went through the lawsuit with Tasha K. You know, the issue with that was a defamation lawsuit, right? According to her, Tasha K was spreading vicious lies about, you know, you name it, prostitution, drug use, etc. She decided to sue. A part of her testimony was, which I didn't know, she became suicidal over that. I believe it was yesterday, a mayor in DC, black gentleman, committed suicide.
I think the next day, I screenshot it and forgot to write it down, but the next day, another actor's son committed suicide. I think he was 23 or something like that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I don't like to categorize it women or men. It's tough either way. But when I'm looking at it more and more, I feel like I see it so much more right now in black men. I know that, you know, it's tough in general just being a black man. There's so much pressure, right? I always say, you know, as a black man, and I've even said it to my son who is 16, you know, you already got 3 strikes against you.
Right.
Before you ever even walk out your door every day. So trying to instill that confidence that he can think highly of himself, because when you walk out the door, you're gonna get a couple of knocks on the shoulder, right? So, you know, the hope is if I can get enough confidence in the knocks on the shoulder, or put him right about where he needs to be. So, you know, that's the most important hot topic for me this week. Not so much the other stuff going on. Just wanting to talk a little bit about, you know, how do we get there? What are the struggles? You know,
because it's real.
It's definitely real. And how you just said, like how we talk to our son, because we all have boys. Well, you have a girl, but we all have boys.
I do have
girl
a son.
too. I mean, a girl too. I'm saying we all have boys, but you have a girl too. But we all have that conversation with our boys. However, that's from a young perspective, right? And this is one of the reasons why we have Stacy here today, is because we do teach our boys that you do have 3 strikes against you. However, as you matriculate through life, as you get older, it changes from those 3 strikes to where it's life, period. And it's illness, it's you can't do like you used to before. And we have Stacy on our panel because Stacy has gone through a situation where he lost his father to suicide. And the first thing I said to Mel was, and it's a crazy question, like, was he suicidal? Did you think, you know? But you ask that without realizing that you're asking that, you know? Because, and then in learning it, you learn that there are no signs to it. So, you know, Stacey, we don't want to put you on the spot, but if you like to just speak towards, because we haven't dealt with that, you know, and we can say what we think it looks like and what we think you're supposed to do.
I mean, because he can give us insight, almost kind of like what Regina King is going through right now. You know, having that loved one,
I'm sure.
Yeah, that you didn't think would ever do that, to do it, and then just going through it. So yeah.
All right, I'm kind of just jump right in it because like this I
hate to sound like church, but take your time.
This is tough subject for me.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean, my dad man, my pop was one of the strongest guys I ever known in my life. Like home was like different, you know what I'm saying? And like the reason why he took his life was like because he couldn't deal with, he got sick. You know what I mean? They wanted him to walk around with oxygen. They wanted him to sleep with oxygen on him. He wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? He would sleep with the oxygen, but the one day they wanted to walk around with, he wouldn't do it. But he got the way he couldn't do that no more. Like he used to like, my dad was like kind of hands-on guy, so he like to go outside. Even when he retired, he'll still go outside and build on his garage, work on lawn, work on his nephew cars and all that good stuff. And he got to the point where he couldn't do that no more. So like in the signs, like folks say look for signs. Like with my dad, I would never see a sign, cause he ain't gonna let nobody see him weak like that. But hold on there. But like I said, like my dad was like one of the strong guys I know. You know what I mean? And when my brother called me on March 17th and told me that my dad had killed himself, it was crazy. Like, and the funny thing about it, like my brother, he was sick and he was in the hospital and he had heart condition, so he had the tube down his throat where he could breathe, help him breathe. And my dad told me in the hospital, he was like, Stacy, before I live like that, I'd just rather kill myself. You know, and my dad had been a gang. That's the hardest nigga I ever known. So for him to say that, you know, we still kind of chuckled at it. Because I know home, you know what I'm saying? He said, yo, but I probably wouldn't shoot myself in the head. I probably shoot myself in the chest so y'all wouldn't have to fix my head in there.
Wow.
And during this time, he ain't sick. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He able to do everything that he been doing daily. But it was just his statement then. You know what I mean? So when he said that, like I said, man, I know my dad, so me and him, we chuckled at it.
Right.
So he was talking to his friend on March 17th for last year. They been talking to for years. Every morning they talk about 7 o'clock in the morning. So his friend ain't Speedy. So Speedy said him and dad on the phone. And my dad had to stop smoking because of the oxygen and shit he had to take. But so he started sucking on butterscotch, the candy. So the butterscotch slipped down his throat during a phone call. So Speedy said they were trying to catch your breath and shit and he couldn't. So he told Speedy, man, Speedy, I'm gonna call you back. My dad went outside and shot himself.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the sad part to that is, like, just that. You know what I mean? Like, him not being able to catch his breath.
Yeah.
Is what went on and took him over.
But, not to cut her off, but the crazy thing about it, like, my dad always been a nigga like that, stood on when he said shit, he meant it. Like, real shit. So, like, at the time, I didn't understand it. But then I thought about it, I understood my dad. That shit he was telling me, he meant it.
Yeah.
And
you know what I'm saying? Even back to when my dad used to drink. He had been stopped drinking though years ago. But even when he used to drink and get drunk, we'd have a conversation. He'll say, Stacy, I don't give a damn if the sun don't shine tomorrow. He meant that. So when he shot himself, my sister was there. She said she heard 2 shots. He stood on the word. Shot himself in the chest the first time. It didn't kill him. Then he shot himself in the head. Hey man, I just want to say this. Just because somebody seem okay, don't mean they okay. So daily, if you love them, check on them.
Yeah.
Ask them. Ask them, because they look for somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm. My thoughts and prayers are with you all the time. I mean, especially because the picture is in the garage when you walk in, so you see the picture. But I mean, you know, to lose a parent, I can't. Yeah. I mean, my dad is dead, but we didn't have a relationship like that. So. But to lose a parent, you know, I understand that that's a lot, you know. Yeah. And I think when Mel and I were talking, or we've been talking, and I think I said this before when we did another thing where, you know, help isn't always H-E-L-P. Or, hey, I'm feeling bad today. You know, it's you have to listen. And
I think it's that. I think for men in general, there's so much weight. You know, I think the nature of a man is to be strong, to be a protector, to be a provider. And I think that that's true. But that doesn't mean that they don't feel it. Yeah. Right? It's heavy.
You know what?
And I think sometimes we're really tough on men. And I don't think we look at the fact that even as a man, we got to give him some grace. And so what can happen a lot of times is, you know, as a man, especially a black man, he's got a lot of pressure already when he steps out the door. And so when he's in his safe place, home, he needs to be able to see himself in a certain light, right? Because I think the nature of a man is to want to see itself in strength. And I think sometimes we're just a little tough. And I think just in general, it's so much that has happened. I think with the pandemic, that was hard. I think even for me, I'll say it, like I started out good. But I'm social and I like to be out. About halfway through 20, I was like, okay.
But for everybody, I think, I mean, and that's one of the things, like, before we go there, I agree with you with the male part. Yeah. But I also feel when they get a certain age, and they lose their independency.
Yeah.
And hard. They can't see themselves like they mentally they see themselves like they were. That's hard.
My daddy, he couldn't even get up and down in his truck.
Yeah.
And he didn't have no great big old truck. He had a dog around and said probably about so high off the ground.
And they don't
but my daddy got
all
the
that on you.
even.
Yeah, they
don't taking care of them.
I mean, I think back just with my mom, like after she had her stroke and all of that stuff, she wouldn't eat or anything. And I would ask her, like, do you want to die? And she would say yes. Like, yes.
Yeah.
But my mother was also, well, yeah, she's still alive. But before the stroke, she was very independent. You know, she could come and go. She liked to shop, get her hair done, like all of that stuff. But then for you to have a life-changing incident happen to you.
So fast,
yeah. Where now you have to depend on somebody else. She didn't want to be here either. Like, it took her a minute to get to that place. So I understand exactly what, because I feel like that would be my dad. Like, I think if something happened to him, I don't think he would call me and say, hey, I want to come live with you, you know. And he is definitely the strongest man I know.
I think it's a generational thing. And let me say this. I'm not, you know, what I say is what I say. If I'm wrong, I will say that.
But it's your opinion.
I will, you know, change. I will, you know, if I see it differently, I will, you know, say that. But I feel like that's a generational thing because our parents are strong. So they look at that as a way out. Because they don't want to be a burden.
Yes.
However, I don't want to say this, but I feel like when younger people go through it, they hadn't lived enough to understand why that older person did it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's two different mindsets.
And two different influences.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for younger people, it's this social media shit.
Yeah. I agree.
Because even Regina King's son said that, and he tweeted, or one of them, that social media was not healthy. Stacey, we appreciate you for coming on and sitting with us. You're actually like our first guest.
I know.
Your first celebrity guest.
Oh,
That's right.
Okay, but remember he was in the thing.
In the background.
So this is Stacey, guys.
Yes.
Like, you know, we talk a lot about
Yes.
Stacey.
Yes.
This is him.
This is our big brother, her
Yes.
husband. But we appreciate you for
Ain't no
coming,
problem.
because that's a
Yeah.
lot, you know, to sit here and relive, and it's fresh because it's what, 2 years?
One.
One
Yeah,
year.
yeah, 1 year.
Yeah.
So this 2022
Two
will be
a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
So know that we praying on it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard.
But I say that, like, I mean, like, I want y'all to know, like, man, my daddy was 78 years old.
Yeah.
So it just ain't young.
Yeah.
Is that them?
Check on your parents. Check on your grandparents. Even
Yep.
if they say they okay,
Yeah.
talk to them more. You talk to them longer, they'll reveal
They'll tell you
something.
what's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Because he told you.
Yeah,
he
he did.
said it.
Even though it
and he
was
wasn't even sick.
time before.
Right.
But like I said, he was 78 years old. On the day he killed himself, he was going to have his second COVID shot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Meaning, he wanted to stay alive.
Yeah. And the other part about that too is because he talked to his sister on a regular basis. She was coming to pick him up to take him to get the COVID shot. She didn't even know. So,
But
I think he knew what he was doing.
on that note, my sister did tell me one time she thought Daddy was depressed. Went right over my head. Don't let shit float. Don't let shit float, man.
Because sometimes I think when we know somebody in the image that we know them in, like I was listening to you saying, he a G, he was strong.
And that's what you saw him as.
We automatically will say in our mind, he ain't depressed.
Yeah.
He a G. You know, that's the way we think. Because we like to see people.
That was my thought exactly.
Yeah.
We like to see people in their
That was my
strength.
thought exactly.
We're not looking at it like that.
And
so
that goes back to help is not help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Help is babbling on about saying what,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he was babbling, but later, babbling on about saying
Now
what,
all of
just
that play
talking.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but help isn't help.
And I think too, for a parent, his kids were grown. They were all doing well. So it's almost like, I know for me, because I go through things too, but at the end of the day, I live for my kids.
Right.
You know, my final thought is, if something happens to me, what about my kids? Because they're still young.
And that's
but I
true,
think once they get grown and they're okay, then you kind of like, they don't really need me. I can go ahead and go.
Right.
Looking at
And that's
life
what my mom
Yeah.
said. Because remember, I told you when she was like, she didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah.
And she said, you're grown.
Yeah.
You've raised you've done a great job with Joshua.
You'll be okay.
He'll be okay.
And I said,
Yeah.
that's fine. But you tell your grandson that you're not going back to the doctor
it is
anymore.
that.
You're not doing it. You tell him that you're choosing not to
don't
live.
leave me. Don't leave me to do
Don't leave me to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I hate about suicide is, although the person who's committing the act is thinking what they're thinking, I don't think they think about what they're leaving.
Yeah. I think the rational on that is just different.
Yeah.
You know,
Because you're not thinking about that. You're
they're
just
okay.
thinking, and you're okay. So
Yeah.
y'all gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And that's why I put it back on her. If you want to leave, I'm fine with that, because I get it. You were strong. You were this, and this is when she had legs. So you were all. So I get that.
Yeah.
But
I also think, I don't know that it's that person who is committing. So I don't know that they are thinking about it that way. I think that whatever has them at the state that they're at is all consuming.
right.
I think my daddy, like I said, like I knew him. He really didn't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just real shit. Because
They're all
I knew
consumed
my,
in what their
daddy.
situation
Like I
is.
said,
Yeah,
my
it was
daddy,
about what that.
my daddy was a country boy. He was before he stopped drinking, but he was a liquor drinker, gun slanger.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
But he
And I
also
think-
knew the child was okay.
And
though.
he took care of kids. He never stopped being
he
a
knew
daddy.
the child was okay.
because he took care of y'all.
Yeah. At the end of the day, he was a daddy. He was a daddy and a granddaddy.
And like I said, he was 78 years old, and I still I feel like I said it was just last year when he killed himself, and I still feel like I was cheated out a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair, because that goes back to what I said, where the person who's committing it don't think about that other part, like you. And
you know, but I also think, and I don't even want to make this a black and white thing because I'm not that person. Like, I'm not the white man is the problem. But I think as black people, we are raised to be strong.
Yes,
that's what I was talking about.
And I don't even think it's just a man thing. Like, I just think it's just a black person thing.
I agree.
Like, I feel like we are raised to be strong, take on all of this stuff, wear it on our back, conquer it, and move on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I go through stuff, and I tell Stacy, give me a minute. Like, let me cry, get this shit out, and I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's how we're built.
The funny thing is, when I was thinking about this whole our episode today, and I was thinking about, because I actually jotted down notes and did some research. But this isn't research. This is just something I thought about. Like,
you're such a fucking scholar.
You know, should have went on and finished school. Shit.
Hence the glasses.
Right.
Wow. No, stop. So I was thinking today, and I was like, you know, that's what I should have Googled. But they wouldn't have had that. Oh, my bad, John.
Was it Googleable?
Was it Googleable?
Was it Googleable?
Right. I don't think it was Googleable. Because I Googled suicide and I Googled the statistics. But I was thinking, because we don't hear a lot about suicides during slavery.
Yeah.
Now, there was suicides when they killed themselves for whatever reason, whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't hear about a lot of suicides during slavery, and the reason why is because we were strong.
Yeah.
Or did they just not record it?
See, I don't because I think
now I might have got beat to death.
Let me just say something before I get out of here.
Where you going?
Well, look,
we got a question on the floor.
Hold on. Let him ask first.
Before, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Man, these police and these white folk, man, been out here terrorizing niggas.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was real trapped then, you hear me? Out there with the red dogs. Man, them police been beating our ass.
Yeah.
We didn't have no social media or none of that for everybody, for the world to see it. But this shit been going on.
Yeah.
So don't just think that, like what y'all seeing today, just started.
Yeah.
It did.
We just
I was out there. The red dogs used to come out there and beat our ass. Even if they didn't have, even if you ain't had nothing on you, they would beat your ass.
And
you hear
they
me?
was corrupt.
So this shit been going on. Now it's just out here for the world to see it.
Yeah.
But on my exit, y'all stay aware.
Hold on, because I think Christiana want to say something before you leave.
No, I was piggybacking off of the slavery, what you were saying about how they didn't commit suicide, and they did actually.
Well, no, I'm not saying they didn't, because I read what Corey sent. I did read that because I have a friend actually whose father was on one of the ships, they would jump off because
before they would become a slave.
However, he stayed on the ship. Mm-hmm. They were in Belgium or somewhere else. He stayed on the ship, and when he woke up, because the ship sank, he didn't, or whatever the ship did, he didn't jump off because or stay on whatever. He was they rescued him, and when he woke up, his eyes, he thought he saw angels, but they were white people because he was in another country.
Yeah,
and he was, and
but,
he's
they killed their children too, so that their children would not have to go through slavery.
And they were trying, the white people there was washing his cleaning him and was trying to clean the black off him because they had never seen black people before.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, you told me that. Yeah, that's why I got that.
His grandfather.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do know that they committed suicide, but I was thinking as like going out and just hanging themselves or that type of suicide. Yeah. Not that type.
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
We look at it different?
I do, because that was a situational suicide.
Okay.
I mean, to me, and that's to me. I mean, because it was because to them in their mind, and this is from what this guy told me. So he said that the people were like, because they told them, the people in the service, when you get to another country, you can't get off the boat. So it was either, that's what it was either sink or get off the boat or swim, right? So his grandfather was like, I'm getting off this shit. Like, I'm not finna die because they said don't get off the boat, because when you go to another country, they said you can't get off the boat. And the boat was hit, whatever, it was sinking. And the black folks stayed.
Did he know he was going into slavery?
No, he was in the army.
Okay, let's just come back from slavery, though.
Okay.
But he was in the army during slavery.
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Come on, so as far as like, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, so please don't judge me for this question. It's just a question.
Sure. So no judgment zone.
Do you guys feel that people who commit suicide are selfish?
Yes, I did. I'm gonna say this. I did think that.
I say no.
I don't know.
I say
no because, like, if it was a loved one, somebody that you knew, you knew they trained them out. You knew who they was. You knew, like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's selfish. Because I don't think my dad was selfish. Because I knew my dad. Like what I said, like, even in his drinking days, he used to tell me shit like, Stace, I don't give a fuck if the sun don't shine tomorrow. The sun don't shine tomorrow, that meant something. Yeah. And he meant that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for a minute.
But I don't think that it is, I don't think they're really even thinking about what other people are going to think.
And that's the selfish side of it.
Yes.
No, I think, not true.
I think that the way that I look at it is this. If you are at the place of taking your own life, there is something that is consuming you, that has pulled at you so hard that you're willing to walk away from the people you love. That's a different level to me.
I think for me,
because of that,
I think for me and what I went through, that was selfish, and that's why I put it back on her to tell my son that you wanted to kill yourself.
And I understand that. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe every case is different.
I agree with that.
But I'm not going to say that I think that it's selfish. Sometimes we don't know, is that person suffering from some type of mental health issue? If you're dealing with, because, you know, I had that in my family. If you know enough about mental health, depending on what that person's diagnosis
but that is suicide is part of mental health, because that's depression. So clinically depressed is mental disorder.
So if you dig into that deep enough, depending on what that person's diagnosis is, if it's psychosis, if it's schizophrenia, if it's bipolar, when you get into that deep, the doctor will tell you they don't have the capacity to think outside of their own situation.
But they do, because it's treatable.
So with
because it's and I'm not saying that like just
so what I'm saying is, if that person is being treated, I'm just saying what I experienced firsthand with that in mental health. If that person is being treated, that's one thing. If they are not taking any medication for what their diagnosis is,
I think that mental health shit some bullshit, really. Like, because I don't think my dad would like mental health.
Yeah, I don't think
that was the nigga he was.
Yeah.
Like real shit. Like, I don't think nobody understand it. Like, really, like, if they didn't know, I'm just speaking on mine. They didn't know my dad.
I don't think.
But I don't think my dad had no mental issues. I think that was just the nigga he was. Like I said, that nigga was telling me this shit back. Nigga, he hadn't drunk no liquor shit in like 20 years. He hadn't been drunk no liquor since I've been married. I've been married 16 years, 17 this year.
Ooh, that's a long time.
You know what I'm saying? He hadn't drunk no liquor that long. But like I said, even back when he was drinking, he used to tell me he didn't give a damn if the sun to shine tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe he just decided I don't want to live my life like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think mental
illness, the age barrier, the age difference.
I think mental illness too. Like, a lot of people are using this mental illness as their way out of situations. Because not all the time, they don't always commit suicide. But I think just for them to get out of something, it's mental illness. Shit, I said today I want to take a mental health day because I was stressed out at work today.
I have a statistic. Statistics say 1 in 3 have a mental health issue?
No, the white man numbers.
Yeah, well,
Look, on that note, though, like, since they won't exit me, I'm gonna exit myself.
Gonna exit yourself. Well, we thank you for coming.
Hey, it's been real.
We thank you.
It's been real.
Y'all see Stacy? He was in the back.
Right, he does exist.
He does exist.
So now when y'all hear him in the back,
It's him.
this the G right here.
Right.
And also
Stacy.
he's wearing Melo Creations. So if you want your Kirkwood paraphernalia,
Rip your hood.
Hit him up.
go on and hit up Melo Creations.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
God bless you. Good night.
Corey, you had
So I've been dating someone for about a year now who has bipolar depression. He's been clinically diagnosed with bipolar depression and what is the other one? Bipolar depression and
I hope he's not schizophrenic.
no, he's not schizophrenic. He got bipolar depression and
y'all.
something else. I can't think of it right now. I've been drinking, excuse me. But his main thing is that he's trying to always convey to me is sometimes when you see me sitting for a long period of time and I'm not really engaging with you, I'm struggling.
That's right.
He said I'm literally sometimes sitting there trying to figure out what emotions I should be presenting to keep the mood light. I don't want to feel like a damper on everybody. He said, but really what I want to do is sit in a dark room and not have any sound, no light. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk. I literally can't pull myself from that dark space.
The fact that he tells you that is everything.
But he is a person who is getting therapy,
right?
He's getting treatment,
right?
Because he was in the Navy, so he's able to. He had the resources
to get what he needed, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that he told you that, the fact that you're with him, because I even asked. I mean, well, I've seen I was watching Issa or whatever, and how we talked about being with somebody,
disorder.
While they're cultivating themselves and getting themselves together, that's a thing. And like the fact that you're still with him while he's going through that,
angelic,
like that is
Okay, but now here's my question,
and bipolar and he has depression.
I'm not, and I hope again, this is my opinion. What I gotta say is what I gotta say. But how long do you stay with somebody like that?
I mean, in my mind, the way it works is the way that I would want someone to accept me for who I am. I would hope somebody else would be willing to do that.
That's the grace.
Yes.
That's the grace I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not his fault that he's depressed. It's not his fault that he has...
it's traumatic. It's trauma. The stuff that he's gone through.
And the other part is he's committed to his mental health.
Exactly.
He's taking his medication.
To get help.
He's going in. He's getting the tools to operate and function like as much as he can, right?
Exactly.
What his normalcy is going to be.
He wants to be a person who is 85 to 95% of the time happy.
Yeah.
Because I would like to say that most adults, 85 to 95% of the time, we're pretty content or happy with our lives.
Yeah.
But there's something that they have. There's a conversation that they have with themselves that makes them feel like I'm not making enough money.
Right.
I'm not sexually producing enough in the bedroom. I'm not able to emotionally connect with people the way that I feel like I want to. Even if you feel like they're connecting with you in a way that's great, they might be feeling in their minds like, well, I want to be more romantic. I want to be more supportive.
I want to connect more.
And even though I feel like she's happy, but I'm not happy. And why am I not as happy as her?
So how does he help you if you get into a depression state? Like, how does he help you?
So it's interesting because he's so active in figuring out why he isn't in so many different areas. He'll send me things like, oh, have you read this or have you read that? There's different levels of depression. Some people think depression means sadness.
No.
And a lot of times it means emptiness.
Yes.
So not feeling fulfilled is a sign of depression. Like, no matter how much you do, how much you accomplish, but you're never really satisfied with yourself, and for some reason you can't get that spark to get out of bed, that's a sign of depression. And I never knew that. And so when he sends me stuff, I'm like, damn, I'm fucking suffering from depression. Right. Or I'm suffering from anxiety.
Right. So, look, I'm going to say this. I was home, a week ago, Miami. I'm different. If you look at a picture of me in Miami and look at a picture of me right now, I look totally different. It's time for me to come home. I saw myself going down. It was crazy. The flight left at 6:30. I'm going down.
But why?
Sometimes
when I'm there, it's so many different things.
It's more bad memories than good.
It's there at home. I got the vitamin D. The sun is shining. It's warm. It's a different element for me. Here, it's real life. I gotta go to work. I got bills to pay. I've got every responsibility you could think of. And so when I'm there, I unhook. I'm just...
But you still got those same responsibilities.
No. Not for those days. I unhook. I don't think about nothing here. So I'm lighter. I'm automatically lighter. And so by noon, I felt myself. I started trapped. I literally, I felt myself diving. And so this is what I said. I said, I called my homegirl. I said, I ain't come back. She was like, ever? Well, no, just for a couple of days. I just need another 24 hours. I need another 24 hours here to just do whatever I want to do. And so I did whatever I wanted to do. I hung out till 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, fine. I can come back now.
Okay, well, let me ask you something though. Because if you move back home, then now you got these same bills that you got to pay. So would it be the same? Like, would you still feel like you're detached from reality?
The setting is different. The water does me good. The ocean does me good. When I go and I go to Florida, I want the... I can hear it. I can open it. It's something. It's just a difference for me.
I just want to piggyback on what you said, Cora. Because it resonated with me. And you, when I say this, it probably will make sense. I deal with broken people.
Oh, God, you do.
A lot. But it's also because I realize that I'm broken. And broken can mean depressed. Broken can mean whatever it means. But I deal with those people because I take the time to deal with you. So I'm looking for someone to take the time to deal with me. So when she asked, how long will you deal? And that's why I'm answering to that part. How long will you deal with that? I will deal with you as long as I feel like it would take for someone to deal with me.
Yes.
And how you said, I realized with what he said, like, dang, I might be a little depressed, or I might be feeling these type of things too. He's dealing with you through those things too.
Exactly. Because I do know for a fact I suffer from anxiety.
Exactly.
And from the age 28, now I'm 31, the older I get, the more severe my anxiety is.
Yeah.
And
Keep living.
I don't know if it's a...
That's where that gray hair come from.
I don't know if it's a woman
thing. Down at the thought of going home. Yes.
But I've been finding myself, like my more recent thing that I've been worried about is having a mental health moment where I have an anxiety attack and it's not addressed properly. So say I am on an airplane and I'm feeling confined and I freak out. Am I gonna be met with police at the thing? Like, am I gonna wake up in a hospital?
She might not. She likes me.
Wake up in a jail cell. Like, these are real things. I could be in the middle of them. Like, literally sitting in a car for too long.
Yeah, you got to breathe.
I have anxiety too. But now I feel like anxiety and depression are two different things.
They are.
But people can kill themselves for both reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because anxiety is closing in on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anxiety closes.
I mean, but then I also think it goes back to that strength. Like I do think I have anxiety, and I have anxiety really bad.
Yeah, that's why you're not gonna get back on that plane.
That's right. Like I see that shit, and I already know I ain't fucking with it. But
if the price is right, I'm on Southwest, Spirit, Frontier.
If it's a 45-minute flight, I'm going to get on it.
I don't
anything over there, I'm not fucking with
I love
it.
my life.
But
I like my bank account to say more zeros than less. So,
but I feel like.
But I understand.
But I feel like
the seats are better on Delta.
Anxiety will not take me out. Actually, I don't feel like anything will take me out.
Let me ask you a question. Is that the anxiety not taking you out, or is it your desire for life that's keeping you alive?
I think it's both.
It's her desire for her children.
Yeah, it's my desire for my children. Because if I didn't have my children, because I carry a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I've been carrying a lot for a long time.
And she was like, when your mom had
like 20, 21 years old.
My mama even said that the other day. She was saying that how like Melanie really has, she took on a lot when young.
Yeah.
She said that.
But I think so. So even myself, I've been doing this since I was 17. Literally. I've been on my own since I was 17 years old.
And I think that's
a lot.
And I think, because I even said the other day, where people call me and be like, how are you dealing? Are you okay? Bitch, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I have a question
I'm
for
good.
you.
Yes.
You said the answer to Mel's question
Mm-hmm.
was you will deal with people as long as you would want them to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
You said you'll do it because you recognize you're broken.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're always feeding,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been there. I'm a constant feeder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Where and who is filling Trena back up?
I mean, I hate to put this on my friend, but when I need to be filled up, I come to her.
Ta-da!
Because, and I don't even want to cry, but no one knows how broken I am than her.
You gonna make me cry, girl.
And to say this here, don't fucking try me, cause I still will fuck you
I'm
up.
broke, bitch, but I ain't broke.
I ain't broke, but
We're not questioning whether or not you'll nut if you butt.
You know what? Okay. Whether you'll nut if your butt. Right.
cause I shoot you exactly. So don't get these seals twisted, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Shit.
As the tear drop.
Right. It's some onions being cut back there somewhere. We ain't even hungry.
Right.
You say wop out.
Yeah.
We know you a nut if you butt, but it's okay.
But
it's
that
okay.
goes back to that HELP.
Help,
Like,
help is not I need help.
Because she's never gonna say
I need help.
I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like when she was sick or whatever, I was like, bitch, you going to the doctor. You go get the COVID test. She was like, girl, I'm gonna go in the morning. I'm gonna go.
But
like, did you go? Call me when you get there.
I just got one snippet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because history. I know Trena because of Trena's relationship with Mel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I love the both of them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you something that stuck out to me really quick before we move into our next phase of tonight. When we first started doing this, you was going through some things, and you know I didn't know all the details of it. But the one thing I can respect about y'all's friendship was Mel would call me on that phone though, and be like, "Hey, Trena got this going on. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to change it. We need to give her opportunity to deal with her mom." I'm with it. Because what I know is, I can say for me, there's been times in my life where, my friends have been more of a backbone for me than anything.
Right. Yeah.
There's things about me that my friends know that people
that your
don't
family,
know.
that other people don't know. Yeah.
I got a lot of respect for this here. It's okay to drop tears. Nuck if you but
right.
It's okay to drop tears. We should have more of that because on the days when you can't keep it together, if Mel is the solid place that's gonna get you back there, that's what it is.
Yep. Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
And with that said, cause I ain't crying no more, cause I'm hard as fuck.
Nuck if
you see him. So with that being said,
baby, I'm kicking in doors, baby.
we're gonna segue this right on into journaling. So we want to thank Stacy again for coming to share his experience with us with his father passing because of suicide and how it feels for the people that are left behind. So we do appreciate that, Stacy, for you coming to share that with us.
And we love you, brother.
Yes, we love you. And you're constantly in our thoughts and prayers.
We love you, brother. Okay.
So we're gonna transition and pivot a little bit. But as we pivot, although we were talking about mental health, we're gonna pivot into journaling because journaling is part of emotional and emotional health.
Wellness.
And emotional health wellness. So we're gonna pivot into journaling and what journaling means to us. But while we are pivoting, we have some audience members. So we're gonna let them introduce themselves.
Okay.
I'm Renee. Nice to meet you. Well, Renee is my alter ego. Corey is the real name.
Hi, I'm Chrissy.
She's also the bachelorette. Make sure you guys are in speed dating.
We're gonna have their handles on here.
Yes.
Definitely follow. I'm also an up and coming realtor. Yeah.
So your realtor needs
I got you.
Ooh, not in other needs.
And she's also the owner of House Restaurant.
The House
County
Restaurant
Road.
and Talk of the Town Soul Food.
Yes, yes. You better own that shit.
Yes.
Girl, you are not the owner of Talk of the
She
Town.
own everything.
I own Talk of the Town. You go and look at Chris
black and white.
Black and white on paper.
Okay, next.
Carry on.
Okay, I'm Rachel, owner of Street Sweets Desserts.
Amazing.
Yes, and she will be doing our sweets for our lunch party. So stay tuned.
So these young ladies are very talented, and hopefully we will have them back again because they have helped us. We said earlier about getting to the next level. They put us on the next level today with this podcast. So hopefully we'll have them back again. However, they're here today with our journaling episode.
Show it.
Okay. No, show y'all because I don't like this.
That's straight. It's straight.
Okay.
Put it up, man.
So we're gonna talk about what journaling means to us because we do know that there are a lot of people that really aren't into journaling a lot. So our thing is for us because I know RaSheeda and I we journal. I gifted the ladies with journals.
Yes. I
for
started
Christmas.
to bring that damn journal.
I meant to bring out mine too, but
The damn journal.
The damn journal.
I started to bring that.
So and they were cute. Like the journal was great, but the outside was great. It was the linen.
It was really nice.
Perfection.
Yes. So, but I did gift the ladies with journals, and I'll start off by just saying that for me, I have like 7 different journals. I have a journal for my mom, of course, but that's because I want to write a book. I have a journal for my everyday life. I have a journal for my dreams, and I keep that journal in the bed with me so that when I wake up, I can write. Because, you remember your dreams like immediately after you wake up. So I keep it in the bed. That lets you know how single I am. Because if I had a man, I wouldn't have a journal and pencil in the bed.
It'd be his head.
Please let us know if you want to be a part of speed dating so we can get her a man.
DM her.
She need a date for the cabin. Because this bitch can't go to the cabin because she ain't got a date. Go ahead,
Trena
girl.
Renee and Corey Renee need a date.
Well, we can go together because I said I was just going to go and spend that time with journaling and like self-reflection.
Putting things in perspective.
Right, and be like, Lord, I want what all of these couples behind me have. Can you give me this? As I sit in the rocking chair on the porch and they playing games and shit, because I ain't got nobody to play spades with. But I got several journals. I got a journal for my businesses, like what I want, like what I want, what I've always wanted. And when I go back and read it, it's like, damn, you wanted this? So I got a lot of journals. I don't just have one. And I mean, people have them for different reasons, but mine is for growth. Mine helped me focus. It's for clarity. It helps me to really just understand the mindset I was in. And sometimes I'll go back and read something and be like, damn, bitch, that was profound. So I have to think about what I was doing then. Like, was I smoking? Because I don't smoke. So was I smoking? Or was I drinking less? Or, you know, I don't know. Was I not dating and just fully focused on me? Or was I dating somebody who was focused on me and I was able to reflect on me? So, I mean, that's the benefits of journaling, because you get to reflect back and look back and see where you come from and the growth. And to understand during that growth or during those periods what was going on. Either you can reciprocate it or duplicate it, not reciprocate, duplicate it, or not do that shit again.
And I think that was my question, because I'm not a journaler. Like, I don't journal. I've never did a vision board. So, but I want to journal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I should be writing something down, but I don't know what I should be writing down.
Start off with how you feel. Because, you know, like, you look at it, I think some people look at journaling like, let me write in my diary. Today, Mr. Diary, I woo the woo the woo. And then you're like, I don't want to
That's like old school. Like, I saw this boy, he was so cute.
Right.
Yeah.
So I normally start off with, I was pissed off today. Or today, my energy level was depleted. Or I felt defeated. And then I'll go on to why I felt that way. And then when you write those things, you're getting emotions out. Because it's kind of like how when we say it out loud. So when you're saying it out loud or you're writing it on paper, it's like saying it out loud. So you're saying it in your outside voice. And you getting that shit out. Because you like, today, this motherfucker pissed me off because woo. Or I felt like woo. But you're going into it because those emotions are real, because that's part of emotional health. Because you got to take care of that.
I do like how, I think it was you that said, you write your goals in the back of the book. So when you write your goals in the back of the book, are you writing in the front of the book, I guess, how you're going to obtain those goals? Or, like, what are you writing in the front of your book?
In the front of the book, it's my thoughts. It's dreams, right? And dreams for me is anything. Dreams could be, you know, I don't want this thing to upset me anymore. You know, whatever. It's fitness. It's anything. Big or small. And then in the end, it's the goal. By the time I get to the end, so for me, a new journal starts for me every year. At the end of the year, it's reflection for me. Let's go back. Let's go back in January. You know, what was I feeling in January? How did I progress? A lot of times I measure my growth on that. Am I emotionally, shit that was fucking with me in January, most of the time, if I'm really working to get better, by December, it's not messing with me no more.
Because subconsciously, you are remembering what your goals are that you wrote.
I read them every day. It stays in the front. And so when I first started journaling, my journaling wasn't necessarily thoughts. My journaling was, I wanted to pray better. But verbally, I didn't feel like I was there. But I could write it. And so my journal started with, Dear God, this is, and then every day, even still to today, so I've probably been journaling now, it's gotta be 7 years. I have to end with 5 things I'm thankful for.
I was just about to say that.
Every day. Because that keeps me,
it's a balance.
It keeps me balanced. And some days it's hard to get to the 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just I could
because
drive today.
And I could, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I could drive, or you know what? I made it through making dinner. I was tired. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm thankful that I didn't curse anybody out today.
Yeah.
Because it's a really bad day. But it helps me to balance out when I do it that way. Most of the time, even to today, 7 years later, it still starts with, dear God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and because I'm asking because I don't journal, and I've never journaled.
There's no, but before you say that, there's no right or wrong way to journal.
It's because my question is, are you writing something on Monday and then trying to conquer that on Tuesday?
Not necessarily. Because sometimes I don't have the tools to conquer it.
But then it also depends on what your purpose, what your purpose for journaling is. Mm-hmm. Is it a brain dump of everything that happened? Mm-hmm. Is it because, like, for the different things that I'm journaling for, is it for a weight loss journal? Mm-hmm. Is it for more mindfulness?
Okay, so I guess my question is then, because I don't really know. Like, I feel like my mind is a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm always on.
Mm-hmm. So that journal that I gave you, that's why that journal is unique, because it asks you specific questions, and you answer those questions. So it's a good starter
for people who don't journal. It's
right? What are you
starter.
grateful for? What happened to because
I opened it up and I was like, I don't know.
How do you see yourself?
But I'm also a very indecisive person.
And that's okay.
Write that.
Because I don't really know.
It's okay.
What it is.
So then it becomes day to day. When I first started journaling, it was day to day. So what really drove me to do it was I was in counseling. Mm-hmm. And while I was in counseling, she would say to me, so in between now and when you come back, jot down what you thought about our sessions. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right? And then when you come back, we're going to spend the top of the hour talking through that.
Hold on, which is a journal of her session.
But I feel like my journal will be my diary.
And that's okay. Because that's how we were, because for some of us, like me and you, I was like that too, with a whole fake ass lock on it, the little cute little key, that whole little bullshit. And that's how mine was and the more you do it, you'll graduate into a more, I'm going to say mature. Mm-hmm. Because that was adolescence with the little fake lock. Yeah. But a more mature journal. Because the things that you have going on and the things that you're trying to, because really you're really tracking progress on things.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So is a journal more so just, because I have real life shit and real life thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So is my journal just my real life thoughts? This is what I think. This is how I'm feeling.
It's a brain dump. And you know how when I talk to you, you'll be like, I got to get this out my head.
Yeah.
That it's a brain dump. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's not journal worthy.
Okay.
So what's
journey worthy?
So I'm gonna say this, I told her today, I was like, I had a logo. The logo that I sent you, that's on those books. Okay. I had that in my head. That's not journal worthy to put that logo in my journal. What's on the front of that?
For her.
Okay. For me.
For her.
But that was like, I got something in my head, I gotta get it out. And I needed to get it out for production. But in other, like anything else, like for instance, when I wake up, I got this dream in my head, I got to get it out. Right here is my dream book, and let me write it down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, will journaling be like somewhat of expectations? Because me, I don't like to put expectations on my life at all. Like, I know that's crazy, but I'm more of a doer. Yeah. And if I come up with something in my mind, I like to act on it. And that's why a lot of people say, like, oh, you got a lot of stuff. Because when I, when I get an idea or something, I act on it. I don't like to put expectations on my life, because what happens, like even with vision boards, like you were saying, I don't want to have an unfinished board. I don't want to look and see like, oh, these are my goals and they weren't finished. I don't. It's just like to me, I take life as it, you know, as
but it's not finished. It's not.
But it's okay though.
Yeah.
And you have. This is yours.
Yeah.
You control this, so you can change it. There's been times where I might start out here.
Okay.
Some bullshit. I don't want to do that. You know, and just move on. You're controlling it. The journal is freedom. It's not boxed in. It's not freedom. And
so even if you set an unexpected goal, it's okay to cross that shit out and be like, I want this, and move on.
So here's the thing, like to what Christiana said. You remember when I sent you my vision board? I made a vision board in 2019. I don't know when I made that damn board. I really don't know. I went to go clean out my desk for COVID last year, and I saw the shit that fell on the side. But it was a Benz that I have outside on my vision board.
Yeah. So and that's the other thing.
So it's not like it wasn't met. It just one time yet. Because apparently it wasn't time.
Right?
Okay. I think it's no right or wrong way to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's no. You should put this in your journal. You shouldn't do this. It needs to start out like that. It's really just a way for me
to track and
but it's also just your thoughts. Even if you never go back and touch it again, it's where you were at that moment. For me, I do it at the end of the night after I have come down off of my day.
So like a reflection.
It's a reflection, and you know, that's it. And all the time, I'm not looking to solve it. It's just I'm getting it out. Every time something is going on, I'm not gonna call you. I'm not getting ready to call every friend I got and start talking y'all ear off about whatever I got going on. It's just, bleh. This happened today, right? But it's no right or wrong way.
It's not.
Maybe journaling works for some, and for some people it's meditation.
Right, you're right. To yourself. I talk to myself.
Because I will say that
I will cuss somebody out literally in the mirror.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
But I've gone back and read some of my journals with some of the dreams and aspirations that I wanted, and I was like, damn, I forgot that I wanted this or I wanted to do this. You know,
I think it's that, and I can say this. I do believe in what you write down. For me, I'm gonna say this in my life. What you write down and what you focus on, it does center you.
Yeah.
And it gives you focus. There's not been anything that was in the cover of my book that I did not cross out. Whatever remained in that book, that I have achieved it.
Because it's like saying it in your outside voice. And it's like, it's you write it down and you manifest it.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I just got bullshit in my mind.
But
I feel like I'm all over the place.
No. And that's okay.
But you're not.
I don't know.
To journal too, I must say, you have to be organized.
But I think that comes with journaling. Because one of the things of journaling, I'm not going to say it's a must. However, you should be consistent. Whatever consistent is for you. If consistent is every day, then that's every
Friday.
day. But if every Friday is your consistent, that's fine.
So for so do you journal?
So I have a very off-putting thought process on journaling. I went through a tough period in my life the first year after I had my son.
Okay.
And because I didn't know what to do with those emotions, I decided to write it in a journal. In the course of me writing in that journal for that whole year, I ended up, my goal was to look back at it in 20 years and laugh at the person that I was then. Like how far, I know I was at my lowest at this point, but I'm going to look back and I'm going to be able to laugh at it.
Right.
during the course of that year, I faced an eviction and lost possession of that journal. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's a piece of me that's floating, even though it may have went to a dumpster and nobody read it and nobody did anything.
It's like a time travel type thing.
Yeah, so I just feel like there's a piece of me that's floating around in this world that I never got to finish.
So I have a spin to just offer, because I do like to, that's something that I worked on in my journal actually is, it was a goal for last year was to flip my thought. Sometimes I had a tendency to look at the negative side first. So one of my goals was to flip it, to turn it into a positive first. Could it be that closure for you is in your own self-reflection? You made it through it. You're raising a great son. You showed me before this your first parent award, because it is your award.
So you closed that chapter.
You've closed that chapter. So sometimes we have to be careful not to keep taking ourselves back.
That baggage.
Maybe the lost journal was for somebody to find it.
That's a good one.
Okay.
It could be, but for her, it's validity.
No, I'm just
But
asking a question.
I know what I'm saying, but it could be that it's validity for her.
I get it. And it's nothing wrong with validity, but I'm just saying, could it be that because I believe that everything happens for a reason.
I believe that.
And so
but if she's feeling that it's a missing part, that it could be validity.
Well, you know
I'm not
what?
discounting
now
what
that
she's
says
saying. I'm just simply offering.
Because you're not going to get it back.
Now that you say that, though, full transparency, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Ephi religion, but I could not get break a hold from him. Like, I just couldn't. My son's father. So I went to them and I got a bath and everything, and I did all those things, and literally, I would say within a week span, I ended up losing my house, losing the car, losing that journal, losing a lot.
It was like a fresh start.
I literally did get a fresh start, but I didn't look at it that way until you said that now.
Because that's what a bath is, right? Bath is washing away.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting that that's a piece that you wanted to come back to, because I do understand that. But sometimes, for me, it's just helpful to just flip it around sometimes.
Yeah, that was better.
Today, right, you're doing what you do. You got a great son. That piece, it doesn't mean that you don't have any challenges today, because we're going to always have them. They're always new, some twist or whatever. But self-reflection is, I made it through that hole. Right. I made it through being in that car. I made it through losing my house. So you know what? Yes, it's a challenge just sitting in front of me today. But you know what? I made it through that one. I'm going to get through this one. Okay. And so you may not have that tangible book anymore to go back and read it and look at it. But here, I put it on.
Yeah.
And I did it. And I'm good.
Okay.
Very positive.
So it's just a thought.
That is a very positive
way to look at it. So we ain't got to talk about that journal no more.
No. Look, the journal is gone.
The journal is gone.
You got a new one.
I got a new one. Praise him. MOUF PEACE.
What is it? But now I will say, because I do like, and I think eventually we're going to, manifest this or whatever it is or whatever. But with that whole thing, what you were saying with the journals about the specific questions that we ask in the journals to leave on to our kids, and then for them to carry that on. I think that's a great idea.
Yes. So my mother has told me that she has been actively writing a journal since she was 19.
Yeah.
And she said, and at first I was afraid for you to have it because I didn't want you to know me. She said, but as I've gotten older, I understand the importance of you knowing me.
Absolutely.
And she said, there's so much about me as a woman, aside from your mother, that you need to know. So I can write a journal for those purposes. So my child will know me, like in ways that,
and it'll help him maybe maneuver through life. You know what I mean? Like if he come across something that you experience, then it may help him be able to conquer whatever that issue is that he's going through at that time.
Because we've all lost someone,
where
we could say, I wish I was able to read, or I wish I was able to ask them that question, or wish I was. And if there was a journal, we could all benefit from it.
And the funny thing is, I talked to Mel about doing a journal like that. A journal, and I don't even want to put it out there, but it's okay if y'all put it out there. I just patent my shit because I know how. But a journal that asks specific questions. Because it's specific questions that teach you about your person. For instance, when my father died, I did his obituary. I didn't know that man. didn't know him.
You thought you did?
No.
Literally,
I did not know him.
Oh wow. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't know him. Period. It's okay.
Camera break.
No, it's okay. I didn't know him. But when we went to, I met him 3-4 times in my whole life.
Okay.
My whole life. And my aunt was like, "You gonna do the obituary?"
How?
Oh. Why? Because I'm good with words, or
facts.
So, come to find out, and my brother and sister will tell you, I play tennis. Tennis came out of nowhere.
And he played it.
Well, first of all, you wouldn't think she played tennis.
Right. First of all, I play tennis well.
She played tennis so well that she got there train somebody and they got.
Can you train my dog?
I can.
Okay.
Because my friend got a scholarship to go to college to play tennis.
I want my baby to play.
So when I learned how to play tennis, it was because my son played baseball. It's tennis courts at the baseball courts. So I was like, and where I worked, this guy and his sister played tennis. And he was like, "You should play tennis with us." And I was like, that's a lot of running. I don't run. But it was fun. Yeah. So I bought tennis rackets. I taught my son how to play tennis because he played baseball. And it's hard for a baseball player to play tennis because they hit the ball as if they're swinging a bat instead of swinging a tennis racket. So I started playing tennis. And when I had to do my father's eulogy and my aunt gave me pictures of him, he played tennis. And I was like, damn. But that's what made me think. I thought about that, but then with my mom going through what she's going through, I was like, journals should not ask the same questions, how you feel or how your day going or whatever whatever. It should be more like, what are your hobbies? Yeah. What do you like doing today? Yeah. Because it's stuff like that defines your child, your grandchild, your great-grandchildren. Because I didn't know where the fuck tennis came from. But I was telling people, it's Venus, Serena, and Trena, bitch. Right. Shit, the fuck is Venus, Serena, and Trena.
Right, yeah.
But I didn't know that, I was awestruck when I did his obituary that he played tennis. And I didn't even tell her, I was like, girl, I played tennis because my daddy played tennis.
It was hereditary.
But
it was a tennis team.
Right. So, like, really, I should have been Venus, Serena, and Trena. I'm the fuck, like, goddamn. Okay. But you just don't, it's stuff like that it's little things like that. Like, you can write down how you feel. Yeah. You can write down what's going on. Yeah. But write down what you like. Like, write down like a personable thing. Yeah.
Like, and I totally agree with that because, like, I would like for my children to know what I did in a certain situation. Yeah. But then I would also like for Stacy to be able to give it to his children, right, who have gone to a predominantly white school, right, and how he made it through from 7th grade, you know, graduated and all of that stuff from that predominantly white school. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a great idea. You know, because, and we're going to go back a minute, too.
Yeah.
Because I meant to say this during the whole mental health thing and all of that stuff with the black boys and all of that stuff. Like, I had to have a whole conversation with my black son who goes to a predominantly white school where there's only about 5 of them in his class.
Yes.
To let him know that you are not the same.
You are not.
No matter how much, you know, those white kids kiki with you, you are not the same. You will always be the aggressor in every situation.
I remember you telling me that.
You know what I'm saying? You can't go over there and play and lollygag like they do. Like, I sent you over there for education. I sent you over there with a purpose. So I think for that journal that you want to make would be great because he will be able to put that in a journal for his kids. Because he wants his kids to go to that same predominantly white school. So I think for him, it would be good for me to tell him how I maneuvered through certain situations, and then for him, how he maneuvered through certain situations to get them through that next chapter of their life. So I think that's great.
And piggybacking off of that piece, as far as children and journaling, it can even work as a parenting piece where sometimes you're not able to effectively communicate to your child where they can understand you and you to even understand them and the struggles that they endure when they're in school.
Right.
So sometimes they might be acting out and you can't necessarily pinpoint why they're acting out. But if they have a journal where you all can communicate and they can let their guard down and be transparent and communicate
and express
with you.
their feelings.
And express themselves in a way to where you can read it and you can write those journals back and forth.
I
so
totally
it goes
agree.
both ways.
And the thing is with parenting, you got to be creative.
Exactly.
You got to. Because there's no handbook.
Right. And it's no right or wrong way. And everybody is different.
The wrong way is not doing it.
Yes. Well, today has been an extraordinary day.
Fantastic.
Yes. We have covered
exceptional
a whole bunch of bases where we agreed and disagreed, and because we love each other, it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Because at the end of the day,
we're gonna talk about
we're going to agree to disagree at the end of the day.
Yeah. And we're gonna still love each other because that's what we do, and that's part of this mouthpiece. We gonna speak what we got to say.
Yeah.
However,
it's 3 different mouthpieces.
It's 3.
That's a mouthpiece, and I'm a whole mouthpiece by my damn self.
So is that 3 or 4 or 5?
I know I might be like 3, 4, or 5 by myself. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we appreciate you guys for continuing to watch us and follow us and be a part of Chat It Up ATL and now Mouthpiece ATL. We appreciate Stacy Kirkwood Stacy for coming on to let us know how he felt firsthand from a situation, the situations that we discussed. We want to thank our panel for being here on journaling, and for Mel even who does not journal, because
I don't.
So we appreciate that,
and I hope I asked the questions that you guys would want to ask.
If not,
for
then
those who don't, right?
For those who don't,
If not,
because what I got from it was write that shit down.
Right.
Whatever it is that you are feeling, whatever it is you're thinking,
and it's no right or wrong.
just write it down. It's no right or wrong.
It's not.
And it's something that you can revisit, you know, in December or down the road or whatever, to see if you have accomplished whatever goal it was that you were trying to accomplish, or if you have fixed whatever situation you were in January. Let's see if you fixed that in, you know, November or December or whatever.
And
or if it's for somebody.
I told them all up today.
Exactly.
Like I was literally right. I tore that shit up
because
today.
if you don't have nobody who's gonna big up you, you
Right.
gonna big up you. And when you read that shit back, like I remember that day, I fucked that shit up that day. I told that was up you, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
So, right.
So we're gonna check in on the journals. For those of you who pick it up, for those of you who don't, it's cool. Whatever you do for you is fine. We just thought it would add some value. We'll check in on it, see how it goes. Our ladies will come back.
Yes.
We'll be back.
Yes, be back. Sure.
Yes.
And we have an announcement that'll come out. There's going to be a launch party, speed dating. Our speed dating launch party.
Yes.
Hopefully it will be the last.
It is going to be February the 26th.
Yes. There it is. So we will let y'all know the place. So if you are interested in being a candidate, either female or male,
if you want to date these ladies,
there it is. Corey is available. This is Corey. Corey is available. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is You Love Tomorrow, and my stage name is Renee, but I like to go by Corey Tomorrow as well.
Okay.
My stage name is when I'm drinking.
Okay. Because I was about to say, do we need to tell them where you working? Right. No. They need to pull up. She had Blaze on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Look, the stage name is for the drink.
Okay. Thank y'all for joining us. Yes. And please tune in next Wednesday after next.
In 2 weeks time.
In 2 weeks. 2 weeks time to MOUF PEACE ATL.
Peace up, A-Town down.
Audio and time. I damn near lost my mind. Ooh, sometimes I just cry. Sometimes I feel like suicide. Yeah. Put myself in the video, hold on. Hard time with that, we gotta be strong. And stay down for the ride. Yeah. Everything gon' be alright. Life took a toll.